actually did. Good, that all worked out pretty well there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Friday. First Friday of the full week. You know what I realized this morning? I was trying to think how long it's been since I've had no sense of taste or smell. And I lost it on Christmas Day. And I thought, gosh, that's like 4 weeks ago. No, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago was Christmas Day. Doesn't it feel like it was years ago? How bizarre. Last Friday was New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Very bizarre. It feels like the 72nd of 8 months into 2021. How weird. Well, whatever. It is what it is. Time is out of joint. Thank you, William Shakespeare and Hamlet.
Is that where that's from?
Sure is.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Ah.
Hamlet's probably the Shakespeare play that I quote the most. It's not my favorite play. I don't know why. It's very, very quotable, I guess. Quotable. It's good Scandinavian. Quotable. All right.
Well, you know, Shakespeare is best appreciated in its natural Norse, apparently.
Well, it is a play set in Denmark.
Yes.
They got a good O.
Well, there is something rotten in the state of Denmark, as they say.
Yes. So we created a worksheet.
Holy moly, that's hot.
That I will post onto this link as soon as we are done. And I am quite proud of how cute it is, if I do say so myself. My design skills are minimal at best.
No, I do like the bullet point.
Minimal at best. So anything that I come up with is basically clip art. But this is clip art that's meaningful to us. So here are your questions to consider, and if you want to print this out or use it, maybe I'll try and make a form. I'll see if I can do that, then you could type in online if you want. The plan is to do this every Friday so that at the end of the year, you'll have 52 sheets of things to go back and reflect on.
And the test at the end of the year is accumulative, so...
It's comprehensive, so
Yes,
you're going to want to
be careful, everyone.
really study these. Probably laminate them. Definitely keep them in a place of prominence. So your first question, and this is all based on conversations throughout the week. What substance or habits are acting as pollutants in your life? Remember, a pollutant is defined as any substance in the wrong concentration, in the wrong place, at the wrong time. Do you have pollutants in your life now? Do you think? I think social media is a pollutant for me.
I am going to respectfully decline to answer that question.
Well, that's Crazy Town. You're the host.
Yes,
You really
I do.
are? Okay. Is it cheese?
That's a low blow. That's too soon, Dana Talvan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got bullied. No, it doesn't matter.
you were invited to start eating less cheese, and what happened when that happened?
My bad cholesterol level went down and I lost 9 pounds.
Imagine that. Cheese in and of itself is not a problem. Large quantities of cheese in the wrong concentration, in the wrong place, eaten at 9:30 at night, not a good idea. Imagine that.
It's good for the teeth.
Mm-hmm. So that's your first question to consider. Your second question is, what can or will you do to remove those pollutants from your life, and how will that improve your life?
You know, everyone's just thinking about cheese now, right?
It's true. In my case, I try and I fail on a really regular basis, but I try not to start my day on social media. I try not to wake up, take a second, and immediately reach for my phone. And the days that I do that are just better days. The days that I spend even 5 minutes in bed thinking through my day, taking a moment to be grateful for something, send a nice thought out to someone who I know is struggling. Those are better days.
You know, that's interesting you say that. I do grab my phone usually to try and get the alarm turned off if I wake up just before, which most of the time I actually do, mercifully. But then I do look at something, but I don't look at Facebook or anything. I actually look at my MSUM email, Because if that's full of people asking questions, I have a good gauge about how bad my day's going to go.
But don't you think that's not you specifically, but just as in general? Think about what you just said. Your first act is to determine how bad your day's going to be.
Yeah.
Our first
That's a
act of
terrible
the
way to
day
think sometimes.
should be something of kindness. I posted earlier this week on Extraordinary, an article I read about a cacao ritual. So I've talked a little bit about cacao. It's
concentrated chocolate.
Yeah, it's pure
Okay.
chocolate before it's turned into edible chocolate. It is extremely bitter. Think of the bitterest chocolate you've had and then ratchet it up because it's 100% cacao. There's nothing else in it. But they turn it into a drink.
It's like chocolate at ludicrous speed.
Yes, sweetened with dates. Kind of a hot cocoa.
Sounds disgusting.
Stop! I'm trying to tell a great story. Jeez. But they, the way that they use it is as kind of a meditative ritual. So it's a couple. They sit down. They lay out some things they're grateful for. They do all this thing. It's actually really lovely, and I kind of would love to do it with someone, even though it would take me a long time to get adjusted to the flavor profile of something just sweetened by dates, because while I don't love milk chocolate, pure cacao is really bitter.
Well,
so
now's the time to try it because you can't taste anything.
that's true. I could start to acclimate towards something that eventually I will hopefully be able to taste and smell again. So what can you do to remove them? I'm going to encourage both of us to stop starting our days that way. And maybe if we are accountable to each other, it doesn't need to be 4 hours into the day, but what if we do something mindful for the first 10 minutes of our day?
Yeah, I'm actually reminded now of something a great work colleague of mine, who sadly this is his last semester because he's retiring. He said, "No wonder he said this to me years ago. He said, "No wonder we feel stressed sometimes." He said, "What's your internet homepage set to?" And I just looked at me and he went, "Yeah, exactly. This university. It is. You open up my computer, the first thing that pops up is the homepage to the university I work at."
So, we all need to be responsive to our jobs and obligations, obviously. But I'm not sure that we need to give the first moments or the last moments of our days to it. If you're ending your day in bed on social media, on your work email, on the news site that you follow, that's not a great way to go to bed either. So think about that. Next question. Did you do anything to celebrate the start of the new year? I don't mean like getting together with people and celebrating by drinking and eating too much, although you may have chosen to do that. I hope they were all COVID recoveries so that you're safe. Are you surrounding yourself with beautiful things that are meaningful to you, and how does that make you feel? We've made a really conscious effort to use mugs made by local artists. And I often wear pieces made by local artists. And this is not a great representation of our house because all of the art in our house is made by local artists. And you can only see one little piece behind me, but the light reflects in it. So that's from an artist from Montana who sold her work in Medora years ago. It's pressed flowers, all taken along the trail that Lewis and Clark took in the work that they wrote about. So it's a really beautiful piece.
It is.
But we've got incredible art in our house, obviously.
Just not here.
Just not here. So if you haven't yet stopped to celebrate the turning of the calendar into the new year, despite the fact that this has been a challenging week, there's also been incredible things to uplift this week, maybe get yourself one mug that has meaning to you, whether because it says something or because it's made by someone you know, or because you know that the purchase of it is supporting a local artist, or buy a scarf knit by someone, or do something. Surround yourself with things that are beautiful to celebrate the turning of the calendar. Next question. What are 3 goals you're setting for yourself in terms of how you communicate? Communication is fraught.
Yes, it is.
The best communicators still fail. I'm an excellent communicator. I still fail from time to time. I still make rash decisions. I still say things too aggressively, assuming that people can hear and see my intonation and my body language. And of course, if they're reading it as a tweet or an email or a social media post, they can't. So think about how you are going to better communicate. For me, It's about remembering to take a breath, reread the post, and as someone said to me today, or earlier this week, ask these questions. Does it serve you? Does it serve others? And is it kind? Not all communication needs to be kind. Sometimes difficult conversations need to be had, and the only way that can happen is through communication. Think about Patty yesterday talking about being forced into treatment by her family. That would have been both a kind and an extremely difficult conversation. That communication was key to saving her life. So sometimes you have to have difficult conversations, hard communication for the better good. But sometimes it's just being said to be said, and then you can perhaps say it a different way.
And one of the best things I can suggest you remember is when you're talking about communication, don't forget listening.
Yes.
Is one of the best ways that you can actually communicate better.
Mostly what we do as in conversation, whether it's serious or not, is we are formulating our retort while the other person is talking. Or we're scrolling through social media while the other person is talking, or we're thinking about our work obligations while the other person is talking. It is a rare conversation that happens where both people are communicating in the present moment, hearing what someone says, taking it in, formulating your thought after they've said it, and giving it back to them kindly, even in hard moments. So, yes, listening, not easy.
No, it's not.
Not easy. Next question, do you participate in Dry January? Why or why not? If you don't, that's fine. I don't either. But what's your reasoning for not participating in it? And the final question is, what are your tips and tricks for not drinking, either during Dry January or at other times? And that may not be not drinking at all, but it may be you are at a social that is 5 hours long. What's your tip for stopping before you've had one drink too many? What's your trick for that? What's your life hack for being a responsible drinker, if that's something you can be? And if you have chosen, or it's best for you not to drink at all, then how do you navigate that? Because while sometimes it's appropriate to stay away from social gatherings, if drinking is something you struggle with, you can't shut your life down entirely. That's not really living.
Yeah, it is.
So how do you navigate that? We'd love to hear those because I think other people could benefit from it. That's one of my favorite parts of our Thursday conversations, is just when somebody says something that works for them, that can be an aha moment for the rest of us.
A good thing about talking about Dry Wednesday, we talked about it on Dry
January.
We talked about it on Wednesday. That's what I was trying to
Yes.
get to. Well, that's actually what I was trying to communicate there.
And I was listening. That's why I could respond so quickly.
Nice. It made the local news. So if you're not actually in this area, if you go online and go to WDAY, you can actually type in dry, and you'll find, because they always put the news up in videos that they put on the TV. You can actually, they had like a 6-minute video about Dry January.
Yeah, it's everywhere now. It's just become part of the zeitgeist of our culture. So if you are wondering more about it, go back and look at the articles we posted or the millions of articles
And if you're
about
wondering what a zeitgeist is, please let me know, because I have no idea.
It's the cultural, it's part of the cultural fabric. Like, we don't say things anymore like, well, if you go to the World Wide Web. No, we don't need to say that. Part of the zeitgeist of our culture is the internet. We know what it means. Nobody says anymore, go to www. Blah, 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 blah. You don't need to say that. You just say go to facebook.com, go to abcnews.com,
Okay.
whatever. Yeah.
Then why do people still want people to send them faxes?
That I cannot explain. That is not the zeitgeist that we live with today. So you should stop that if at all possible.
It's
Last
the
thing.
21st year of the 21st century, people. Stop sending faxes.
Anyway.
Anyone under 40 doesn't know what you're
Dr.
talking
Mary.
about. I don't like faxes.
Okay, well, you don't have to send them or receive them. Let us just say this. Patty Sen, thank you for your conversation with us yesterday and the work that you are doing around not just current kinds of recovery, but your vision for future recovery programs in our community that will serve the entire community, not just addicts. So thank you for that conversation. If you didn't get to watch it yesterday, you can go back to yesterday's conversation on Daily Dose, or you can find it on our YouTube page as well. Just type in Daily Dose of Dr. Mary and Dee Dee, and you'll find it. Anything else you want to add today?
Go talk about faxes a bit.
Nope.
Oh, damn. Okay. No, then no.
Have an excellent Friday. Have a great weekend.
Have a fantastic weekend.
We'll put these questions up for you.
And if you are doing dry January, good luck.
Yep.
And don't get too stressed about it either.
Yeah, if you have a drink somewhere in the middle, just start again.
Yeah.
Or don't do it at all, and then don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, you know, it's not
fine.
It's not a requirement.
Nope. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.